Hello and welcome to another video. My name is Boxiest, and today we are going to continue the What If series. What if events had gone differently? And in this What If, we're going to change the history of Cobra Kai. What if Cobra Kai Multiverse, Part 7. So in this timeline, Mr. Miyagi and Mike Barnes would train their students. They would be some of the best Cobra Kai fighters in the multiverse. Mr. Miyagi would teach them to show no mercy and to master their defense and offense. Another portal would start to open. Cobra Kai Mr. Han and Master Lee would walk through, along with Terry Silver and Master Kim Dayoon. Mr. Miyagi would welcome them into Cobra Kai. Mr. Miyagi would say that he's forming the best Cobra Kai dojo in the multiverse, and that they could use new senseis. Mr. Han would accept Mr. Miyagi's offer, so they would become new senseis at Mr. Miyagi's Cobra Kai. Mr. Han would bring in his best students into this universe, and he would teach the students of Cobra Kai Kung Fu, along with other martial arts that he knows. Mr. Han and Mr. Miyagi would push their students beyond their limits. Mr. Miyagi would realize that they were ready to expand their Cobra Kai empire, so when more portals would open, he would send some of his best senseis through, so that they could take over the Cobra Kai of their universe and make it part of his Cobra Kai empire. Meanwhile, in a different universe, Daniel, Johnny, Chosen, Miyagi-Do, Johnny, Julie Pierce, and Mr. Han would arrive in this new universe. They would be at Mr. Miyagi's house. They would see a young Daniel painting the fence. Young Daniel would be surprised to see them, so he would run into the house, and he would come out with Mr. Miyagi. Miyagi Fang Daniel would be surprised, so Miyagi Fang Daniel and Mr. Miyagi would approach each other. Miyagi Fang Daniel would ask if that was really him. Mr. Miyagi would be confused. This is when Miyagi Fang Daniel would reveal that he was Daniel from a different universe 30 years from now, so Mr. Miyagi would go in for a hug. Miyagi Fang Daniel and Mr. Miyagi would be happy to see each other. Miyagi Fang Daniel would start to tear up. Mr. Miyagi would ask how this was possible, so Miyagi Fang Daniel would explain that they're traveling the multiverse, gathering the best Miyagi-Do fighters to stop a Cobra Kai version of him. This is when Miyagi-Do, Johnny, and Julie Pierce would approach Mr. Miyagi. They would be happy to see him, but Mr. Miyagi would be confused. Miyagi Fang Daniel would explain that Johnny was from a different universe, a universe in which he was trained by Mr. Miyagi, and that Julie was also from a different universe, but that in this universe, he was going to meet Julie in about 8 or 9 years. Mr. Miyagi would be happy to meet them, and he would invite everyone inside. Miyagi Fang Daniel would explain that they could use his help to stop Cobra Kai Mr. Miyagi. Miyagi Fang Daniel would explain that Mr. Miyagi was ruining the legacy of Miyagi-Do and everything he stood for. Chosen would say that they needed to fight for their honor. Mr. Miyagi would be hesitant, but he would see that they needed him, so Mr. Miyagi would agree to help them out, and he would be happy to see Johnny and Chosen change their ways. Mr. Miyagi would tell Johnny that Johnny was never a bad student, that he only had a bad teacher, and he would tell Johnny and Chosen that he always saw good in them, and he would tell Miyagi Fang Daniel that he was proud of the man he had become. Miyagi Fang Daniel would say that it took a while, but that he had to remember his teachings, and they would be ready to go. Miyagi Fang Daniel would talk to his younger self. He would tell him that he was going to do great things someday, but that he needed to put aside his rivalries and learn to let go. Miyagi Fang Johnny and Chosen would talk to young Daniel. Johnny would tell him to reach out to his younger self to see if they could end the rivalry before it escalates. Chosen would tell him to also reach out to his younger self. He would say that at this moment in time, he would be lost, but that he's finding his way back and is on the path to redeem himself, and they would ask him to forgive him for everything that they did. Miyagi Fang Daniel would also tell his younger self to reach out to Mike Barnes. He would say that things weren't personal, and that he regrets everything that he did. Young Daniel would remember this, and they would be ready to go. Another portal would start to open, and they would be ready to go back to their universe, so they would all walk through. And back in their home universe, young Mike Barnes would have trained the Miyagi Fang students, and they would also have additional Miyagi-Do and Deagle Fang students from the multiverse. Robbie also would have invited Tori to join them. The students of Miyagi Fang would be happy to see the senseis return, and some of the students would be surprised to see Miyagi-Do, Johnny, and Mr. Miyagi. Miyagi Fang would regroup. This is when a portal would start to open, and some of Mr. Miyagi's Cobra Kai senseis would walk through. And that is where I'm going to end part 7. Thank you guys for watching. What do you guys think will happen next? Let me know in the comments below. YouTube lets me know that the majority of you are not subscribed, so if you guys could subscribe, that would be much appreciated. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like this video, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. And I'll see you guys next time.